We're here speaking with Lloyd Wright, author of a new book about hepatitis C. Lloyd, why don't you hold up the book?
Book.
This is Hepatitis C, a do-it-yourself guide for health. Tell me, why did you write this book?
Okay, after speaking with over 200,000 people that have hepatitis C over the last 13 years, I've discovered there's a lot of natural supplements that help people find optimal health. And I outlined them in here. Things you can buy in your health food store, things that are not expensive, and they make a great difference in your health. And it's short, to the point, and I've quoted every study I can find that supports different food supplements for the treatment of hepatitis C.
Now, I noticed it was broken down into components where you say, okay, these are the foods that you may or may not want to eat if you have hepatitis C. These are the supplements like blueberries that you might want to enhance if you're fighting this particular condition. Tell me, what are the most important points that people should focus on if they have hepatitis C?
Okay, a recent study out of Japan, and I quote the university in here, showed that proanthocyanidin from blueberry leaves could stop the reproduction of the hepatitis C virus. They did that in 2010. I couldn't find a product on the market that matched what was in the study, so I made my own. It works great. I've had terrific results from it. In 2007, a study from Boston, Massachusetts Hospital came out showing that narinogen could stop the hepatitis C virus by blocking its transfer. It moves from one cell to another on LDL cholesterol, and narinogen blocks this. So I made narinogen because nobody had narinogen. To this day, I am the only person on earth that markets narinogen.
Now, I understand that a major study at a university, a prestigious university, has requested this narinogen for one of their studies. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, I think it was in Philadelphia. They called me and asked me if they could get narinogen. They were doing a study on diabetes. And so I sent them 4 pounds of narinogen. Also, UCLA is doing a #1 phase trial on narinogen in humans with hepatitis C.
Now, is that because the diabetes can then affect the liver, and that's why they wanted the narinogen in Philadelphia?
All I know is they're doing a study on it in diabetes. I didn't ask them any other questions.
Now, in terms of your personal story, you've written 4 books on hepatitis C. Why don't you give us an idea of how you got involved in this and why you're on this particular, you're writing books in this vein?
On September 8th, 1979, I was crushed by a bulldozer. I spent 30 days in the hospital. I had 4 blood transfusions, and I came out with hepatitis C.
But you didn't know that for many years after the fact.
I didn't know it until 1994, December.
Right.
And I went through the interferon. I've been through it all. And diet, lifestyle, the right supplements is the way to go.
Right. So a particular incident in your life has led you to this place, and now you're helping people all over the world with various aspects of supplements that can help them in this cause.
I do it every day, all day long. I've been doing it for 13 years.
Now, your previous book, Triumph Over Hepatitis C, was much more detailed. I take it you tried to distill the primary facts into this new book. Is that true?
There are some things from hepatitis C, or Triumph Over Hepatitis C, in this book. Things that work well, and what I did was I made those items smaller so people could read it quicker. But in here, I've learned so much. There are so many things that affect hepatitis C that people don't know about, and your doctor isn't gonna know. That Nexium, Prilosec, any acid pump inhibitor will raise your viral load millions of points overnight. Your doctor doesn't know that if you take 1 amoxicillin tablet, which is an antibiotic, that your viral load's going to go up millions of points. but I name every one of them that I've learned about over the last 13 years that will make you sicker and your doctor doesn't know it. And they're all outlined in here.
Well, that, you know, that is stuff that consumers obviously need. And when you talk about doctors, there is this hepatitis C epidemic has caused doctors to view hep C patients in a certain way. What have you heard from your communications with patients?
Almost universally, almost without exception, every story I hear from a person who emails me or calls me is negative about their doctor. And people have a bad attitude about, or I should say not people, doctors have a bad attitude about it. Either you take the one drug they offer, interferon, and their little combination therapies, or they don't want to talk to you. You mentioned, I mean, I read an email today that said, it laid it out, I should have brought it and read it. Doctors are not taught about health. They're not taught about herbs or supplements or glandulars. They don't know the healing powers of food. And a lot of people know about those things, but they don't know which specific ones work really well for hepatitis C. I do. They're in here.
They're in the new hepatitis C book from Lloyd Wright. Now, the other aspect is the drug companies. There are a lot of ads in Southern California here, where we are based, on radio touting these new drugs. And you've heard from people who've taken them that they do not work. What are your reaction to that?
I named the 2 new drugs in here. I have gotten over 100 emails from people who have recently used the new drug. Not one of them was able to finish the drug cocktail, not one. In fact, I think the most anybody went was 3 or 4 weeks. Apparently it's more devastating than normal interferon. It's only sold with interferon, that's drug company involvement. And not one of those people obtained a sustained viral response.
Okay, hold up the book one more time, Lloyd. Here it is, Hepatitis C, a do-it-yourself guide for health. Thank you very much, Lloyd.